Hey there, it's Jen Schow for Hip Kit Club. Today I am playing along with the Friday sketch using the they're brand new to me. I just got them in the mail, December kits. This is the sketch, and I am what I usually do with a sketch is I'll look at it and then I'll loosely interpret it. My end layout, actually, the design of it, the layout of it really is a lot like the sketch, but I did deviate from it. I didn't use a Christmas tree and I didn't put a large embellishment down at the bottom, but you'll see as I go on how it kind of comes together. So I have this photo of, this is just taken out my front door after it had snowed a ton. And I have done a lot of layouts about how much I love autumn and all of the things that I love about it, but I've never done one about winter, and I think winter gets a bad rap, and lately I've been loving winter, especially since I work from home. I don't have to drive in the snow or anything like that. So I thought this layout would be the perfect time to kind of talk about what I love about winter. So I've pulled a bunch of embellishments from the main kit embellishment pack, and I'm trying to decide what I want to use. You probably saw me cut down that 3x6 card from the PL kit, and I just made it into a 3x4. That's where I'm going to put my journaling, and I'm putting some thin foam squares on the back of those Christmas trees. I think they look so cute on top of that pink circle, and so I'm going to put that there. I'm trying to decide what I want to use for my title. And so I audition a few things, but I will end up going with Hello Winter. So I'm going to use I think I'm going to use a couple of these. They're like a rubber charm on top of a paper clip from the Crepe Paper Snowflake collection. And I'm actually going to cut them off of the paper clip, and they are like fused in there. And so you just have to take some scissors or an X-Acto knife or something and just kind of saw it off, and it ends up working just fine. So I'm going to do the one that says Snow Day and the little snowman, although I do not end up using the snowman on this layout. I'll use him for something else, so no big deal. And I saved the paper clips because why not? So I'm just kind of gathering a little pile of supplies that I think would look cute. I am going with the sketch in the fact that it showed snowflakes kind of cascading down the left hand side, and I do want to do that, so I've pulled out a bunch of snowflake die cuts, and I also have the snowflake stickers from the Pretty Little Studio. I have those out as well. And what I decided to do here is add some white acrylic paint on my background. I actually wish I would have used gesso, but I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I just wanted to put the paint on. So I'm just applying that with a little rubber scraper tool thingy that I have. And I want it to be behind my photos. And it was pretty warped. I let it dry for a little bit and I put it under something flat. And now I'm taking some of the magicals. This is the jade color, Jana's Jade, from the color kit. And I am adding some of that to the white. I just wanted a subtle blue color behind my photos. Like, I wanted to keep it very wintry. I didn't want to add too much color. And so I'm adding that, but I add like a whole bunch of water, and then it is going to warp a ton. So like I said, I will let this dry and put it underneath some something heavy for a little bit, and then it was a mess. So here it is, all done, and I've decided that I need to put it on top of another piece of paper. So I grabbed a paper from the Snowflake collection that has that dark blue background, which I absolutely love, and I cut a few random pieces out of the top and bottom of that Heidi Swap paper that I did my mixed media on, and I'm just using some double-sided tape, a whole bunch of it, because that way I can kind of stretch this onto the background and make it lay a little bit more flat. It's not perfect, but that's just, kind of the deal with mixed media. So I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I like to add a little bit. So you can see how light and subtle that blue dried. I'm actually going to add a bit more and I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive. I didn't put it clear to the edges, but I should have. Anyway, I'm going to add a little bit more. After I put my photo on and my little journaling card, I realized there's not any blue over by the journaling card, and I want some there. So, and there's not quite enough below the photo. So what I decided to do this time is to just put it on, put the powder on just a scrap piece of paper, and then use my paintbrush to make some splatters. And I do add just a little bit of it directly on the background too, just in the couple places that I felt like it needed it. Again, it's a very subtle look. In real life, it's really pretty because when you turn it in a light, it has that shimmery look to it because these powders are shimmery. But in the video and in the photos, it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, it is subtle. So I added the splatters, and that helps it have a little bit more impact. And I like the way that looks. And now I'm going to kind of start playing with the arrangement here. So I love those little houses. I'm going to put those to the right of my journaling card. And now I'm going to play with the arrangement of some of the other embellishments I really want to include. So I'm thinking about the title, and I thought it would be fun to maybe do Burr Hello Winter. And so I pulled out the pink puffy alpha thickers, and I am trying that out, and they're just not quite right. They're a little bit too dull. I really love them and I love the color, but on this particular layout they're looking dull. So I decided instead to grab over a piece from the chipboard set from the Snowflake collection that came in the embellishment kit, and I'm going to use that. So it's going to say Burr Hello Winter. So now I have kind of like a couple of oval shapes with that word Burr and the word Snow Day, and so I decided to add in a circle flare to kind of make there be three kind of circular-ish elements. I decided I wanted to add a snowman, and so I grabbed one off of the chipboard set, and he's so cute. You probably noticed me peeling off a couple of layers of the chipboard. That was just so I didn't have to worry about it sticking. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll put powder on the back. I'm going to use a few of the cut aparts from this crepe paper snowflake sheet, and I'm cutting kind of a greeny blue color. I wanted to kind of match that those trees, and then some pink. And then I felt like the left-hand side needed a pop of bright white because that journaling card is so white and the title has the white on it, and then the snowman is very cream. I was looking for something that I could add that had a bright white look to it. And I just decided to grab a piece of scrap white cardstock that I have, and I'm going to use that. And it actually works really well. And it's just, I don't know, on this specifically, I felt like it worked because it kind of just looks like a snowy piece of paper or something. I don't know. So I'm going to pop up all of my snowflakes, and I want to pop up the bigger ones are going to be on like a regular foam tape, and then the smaller ones will have the thin foam squares, so they have a little bit of a difference in height. I'm just cutting up some of these foam squares to fit the arms of my snowflake. Is that what you would call them? And then I'm going to put my thin foam on the smaller ones. So just simple. I like to add foam squares to different things and use different textures and elements like the flare and the rubber piece and the chipboard. It's just a nice look. So now what I'm going to do, I stopped the video and did my journaling, and I'm going to layer up these papers now. I decided to put the white in between the pink and the greenish colored die cut pieces, not die cuts, but those little pieces that I cut out, because I felt like the white popped more there and that the separation between the two papers looked nice. So that's what I decided to do, and I'm happy with that. And I am just going to now glue that down. And so in the sketch, it shows 3 small photos across. So what I did instead was to do one larger photo and then my journaling spot. And that kind of takes up the same visual amount of space. So then I added my houses, one of them on foam squares, and now I am going to glue down my trees. I love the way the trees look on that circle. I don't know. So I decide to put the rubber piece on the right hand side, and I like that dark black there. And then there's a little bit of dark black on that house with the door, and then there's some on the snowman as well. So I've got it in kind of 3 places. When I do a dark color, I like to make sure that it's represented in more than one place, because it really is contrasting and it draws your eye. So that's going to draw your eye around the layout really. So I'm just going to glue down my snowflakes, and I'm letting that chipboard piece dry with a piece of, with one of my stamping blocks on top of it, just so it holds it down until the glue dries, because it's on an uneven surface. And then I'm also popping up my title and kind of nestling the word Burr underneath of it, adding some glue to that as well. And just going to continue to add. I know that this cuts out just a teeny bit before I'm done, but basically I'm just adding some silver snowflakes, and then I add my date and glue these things down, and that is going to complete the layout. So I hope that you have enjoyed. I hope you love these kits. There are a bunch of close-up photos coming up. You'll notice that I kind of distressed the edges where I cut the pieces out of the paper so you could see the dark blue behind it. And I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Such pretty products, and I'm just loving it. So be sure to head over to hipkitclub.net. You can find these kits. I'll leave a link in the video description. And if you want to play along with the sketch, be sure to go over to the Facebook forum where you can play along and have a chance to win a gift certificate. So thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you again soon.